All right, welcome to today's explainer. We're diving straight into the deep end of something that literally drives millions of creators absolutely crazy. Today, we're dissecting the exact journey of how target viewers actually choose what they want to watch. If you've ever felt like you're just, shouting into the void, you're absolutely in the right place. We're going to unpack exactly what drives a viewer to click, watch, and hopefully subscribe, all based on some fascinating recent source material on creator growth.
Okay, let's just address the elephant in the room. This number right here, 0. It's devastating, right? You spend hours, maybe even days, editing, you meticulously craft the thumbnail, you write out the perfect description, and then crickets. Absolutely nothing. Maybe get 10 views, maybe 5, or maybe just a flat, painful 0. It's an incredibly frustrating experience to stare at your analytics dashboard and just see a total flat line after putting in all that hard work.
And you know exactly what happens next. You see that flat line, and your brain immediately goes, okay, is my channel dead? You start wondering, does the platform just hate my stuff? Do I need to completely scrap this and start a whole new channel? Look, it's a totally valid frustration, and frankly, it's a super common fear. But before you go and hit the delete button on your account, the really good news from our sources today is that the answer is probably no. Your channel isn't dead. It just needs a fundamental mindset shift about how your target viewers actually make their choices.
So to make that shift, we need to clear the air about one huge misconception right out of the gate. There isn't some secret button that makes things go viral. The algorithm, it's not some evil gatekeeper sitting in a dark room actively deciding to hide your content. Actually, as this definition beautifully lays out, it's a recommendation system designed to find videos that individual viewers are likely to watch and enjoy. It's literally just a mirror reflecting the audience's choices. So your job isn't to somehow beat the system. Your job is to understand your target viewers so well that they naturally choose you. And failing to do that leads us straight to our first major hurdle.
Which brings us to mistake number 1, making things for yourself rather than a specific viewer. This is the very first friction point in the viewer's journey. You're putting out disconnected content without really knowing exactly who it's for. Think about it. If you ask yourself, who is this for? And your honest answer is, well, everyone, that's a problem. Everyone isn't an audience. You need to target someone highly specific, like, say, beginner creators trying to hit their first 1,000 subs. When you don't do this, you create a massive headache for the recommendation system. To see what I mean, just look at this hypothetical upload schedule. Imagine Monday is best Minecraft survival tips. Tuesday is my new PC setup. Wednesday, you drop funny GTA moments. And Thursday, it's how I made $100 online. Now, every single one of those might be a really great idea on its own. But think about how a viewer actually chooses what to watch. Who exactly is supposed to be following all of this? The system learns from viewer behavior, what they click, what they search for. This kind of confusing mix makes it literally impossible to build a predictable, loyal base for you. Let's pivot to the second mistake, choosing weak topics. Just compare these two ideas. Which one makes a scrolling viewer genuinely want to stop and click? Item 1, YouTube tips, is incredibly vague. It's boring. But item 2, why your YouTube videos get 0 views, 7 mistakes, that brilliantly creates curiosity. It immediately communicates a very specific, painful problem that the target viewer is currently experiencing. It sells the click, because at the end of the day, people inherently choose things that promise solutions to their immediate problems.
And that leads us to this golden rule right here. Before you even sit down to outline your content, you've got to stop asking, what do I want to talk about? You need to be asking, what problem does my viewer desperately want solved? The packaging of your content, meaning the topic, the title, the thumbnail, plays a totally critical role in the viewer's choice. And to be clear, you aren't trying to create slimy clickbait here. Your goal is simply to make the value of what you made immediately obvious to the person scrolling past it.
But okay, let's say you have a killer title. You can still totally wreck the viewer's journey with mistake number 3, the overly complicated thumbnail. This is such a classic trap. You know the ones. You cram 5 lines of text, 3 tiny screenshots, your logo, a massive red arrow or shocked face, and like 10 clashing colors all into one tiny little rectangle. What happens? The viewer's brain just kind of short circuits. They don't even know where to look. It completely overwhelms the person scrolling on their phone, and an overwhelmed viewer simply does not click.
Instead, take a look at this minimalist strategy. A really successful thumbnail doesn't need to repeat the entire title of your content. If your title is already about why you get 0 views, your thumbnail just needs super simple text like 0 views, paired with maybe a tiny depressing analytics flatline. That's it. The title provides the context, and the thumbnail creates visual curiosity.
Together, they make the viewer think, wait, I need to know what's going on here. Your thumbnail has exactly one job. Make them stop scrolling and choose you over a sea of other options.
Now, let's say you won the click. They chose you. Awesome. But then, they fall right into mistake number 4, the 30-second intro trap. Walk through this timeline with me. At 0 seconds, they click. At 10 seconds, you're saying, hey guys, welcome back. At 20 seconds, you're rambling about your channel's history. At 30 seconds, you still haven't delivered an ounce of value. Look, a slow intro fails to confirm that the viewer made the right choice. If you promise to solve their 0 views problem, get straight into the problem. Don't make them wait, or they're gonna bounce, completely destroying your attention.
Which perfectly segues into mistake number 5. Stop chasing the algorithm. Honestly, so many creators burn massive amounts of energy asking, how do I trick this system? Or is there a secret magical upload time? Or what exact tags are going to make me go viral? This entire mindset is a trap. The source material makes it crystal clear. You should focus entirely on how your target viewer makes their choices, not on trying to figure out if an invisible piece of code magically likes your upload.
Instead of trying to outsmart a supercomputer, this is the much better question you should be asking yourself. Plaster this on your wall. Why would my target viewer choose this? Put yourself in their shoes. Would they actually click it? Would they genuinely want to keep watching past that crucial first minute? Would they finish it and actually feel like it brought them value? These are infinitely more useful questions to ask if you want to truly master the psychology behind the viewer's journey.
And while you're asking those questions, keep these numbers in mind. Notice how these early view counts jump around? 20, 35, 12. This highlights mistake number 6, giving up way too quickly. A lot of folks will upload 3 times, see these numbers, and just throw their hands up saying, well, this platform doesn't work for me. But here's the thing. These early low-view uploads aren't failures. They are absolutely vital experiments. 3 tries simply isn't enough data. These early attempts teach you which topics get a bite, where viewers click away, and what packaging works. Use this data. Don't just get discouraged.
And that leads us to mistake number 7, which you solve by building a viewer-centric content system. The mistake is treating every single upload like a completely random, disconnected idea. Instead, look at this flow. A viewer watches a short, which builds trust and leads them to click a longer piece, which hooks them into wanting to watch more of your catalog, and boom, finally, they become a loyal subscriber. You want to build a connected web of content serving that same specific audience, so when someone finds you, they don't just consume one thing and vanish into thin air.
So how do we actually pull all of this together into something real? Right here is the Simple Fix Roadmap. It perfectly summarizes the 7-step fix from our sources into a really actionable path out of that 0 views trap. Step 1, pick an audience and find their pain points. 2, turn those problems into incredibly strong ideas. 3, create packaging that instantly communicates value. 4, deliver on your promise in those first crucial 30 seconds. 5, dive into your analytics to understand real choices instead of just guessing. And 6, build a cohesive library and just try to get 1% better with every single upload. And hey, as you start building out that library, please keep this absolute core principle in mind. Make the best content you can for the viewer. Length should only serve the value. There's no magical universal ideal length. Please do not artificially stretch something out to 20 minutes with useless filler just because you heard longer runtimes perform better. Make it exactly as long as it takes to deliver massive value to the person sitting on the other side of the screen, and not a single second longer.
Which brings us to one final provocative question to wrap up today's explainer. I really want you to ask yourself, are you trying to beat the algorithm, or are you actually trying to satisfy the person who clicked? Because ultimately, guys, that's the whole ball game. It's not about secret tags, it's not about magic upload times. It is entirely about understanding a human audience, knowing exactly how target viewers make their choices, and making something they genuinely want to spend their time on. So if you're stuck at 0 right now, don't quit just yet. Fix your system, understand your viewer's journey, and try again. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep creating.